Celebrating a legacy of over 75 years, the F.R. Bigelow Foundation stands as a pillar of community empowerment in the Twin Cities East Metro. As we look back on our journey, we also set our sights on an even brighter future for our region.
75 years of commitment to this community, multiple organizations that have grown and flourished because of Bigelow's support over the years.
When you have people who care, people who are informed, people who are energetic and passionate, and then you have criteria and processes that are designed to funnel our resources into those areas where it's needed the most, it actually comes together pretty well.
The long-term vision for the East Metro is that it be a place where people of all incomes, all races, all ethnicities can live good lives, have great places for their kids to go to school, have great places to work, live in housing they can afford, that it just be a really supportive community.
Our journey has been marked by significant milestones and deep partnerships, particularly with the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation.
What's wonderful for me about the vision of the F.R. Bigelow Foundation is it is so closely aligned to the vision of the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation. We're all led by community voice, community leaders. And that means they're investing in a just, equitable, and vibrant St. Paul in which every individual and each community thrives.
Our efforts are reflected in programs like the Central Corridors Funders Collaborative, which has brought transformative development to the East Metro area.
So originally, when they were putting in the transit line from Minneapolis to St. Paul, they had fewer stops, and they worked in the places where we needed our community to grow.
The Central Corridor Funders Collaborative was a coming together of funders, community organizations, government, private sector, really to make sure that as that green line was being built, that we did something more than just build a rail line, that we actually built community and that people had kind of voice and engagement in that whole process.
One of the projects that was funded by the Funders Collaborative was something called the Big Picture Project, which went parcel by parcel and identified potential housing sites, and that it would be important to try to reserve some of those sites or earmark some of those sites for development of affordable housing. I'm really pleased to say that there is a nice mix, market rate housing, affordable housing, standing right next to each other in many cases. And that's the kind of long-term impact that an organization like Bigelow, taking the lead, pulling funders together and saying, if we don't do this now, we're not going to like the outcomes 5 years from now.
We actually want folks to get off the train and experience the neighborhood. I think it's the model for how you do that in the context of community.
Similarly, the East Metro Main Street Economic Revitalization Program highlights our focus on revitalizing key areas, driving economic growth, and enhancing the quality of life for all residents.
In the aftermath of the unrest following the murder of George Floyd, during the pandemic, a number of businesses, community members wanted to set up a fund to help the 270 businesses that had been affected in St. Paul.
So the way the Main Street Coalition came together was to structure the funding that came from foundations in a way that it would complement the federal dollars and be a really very effective program along the critical corridors and making it work for the actual businesses.
It's good to go and get a slice of pizza at Slice Pizza. It's good to be on the east side and see that Sir Boxing is vibrant and they've been able to add on to their renovation work.
The easiest thing is giving money away. The toughest thing is doing it in a strategy and with partners that you know will not just take the resource and use it until it's gone, but invest the resource to harvest the next generation of value. And that's what the East Main Street Revitalization was aimed at doing. And I think more than any other effort that we've seen, balancing public-private partnership, encouraging businesses, addressing community needs, it was a success.
By listening to and engaging with those we serve, we've been able to invest in solutions that are informed and formed by the community itself.
The long-term vision of F.R. Bigelow Foundation is to be the kind of partner that is trusted in community, not just by the community partner organizations, but by community members themselves.
Address the problems, do it courageously, and when you don't have the resources, find the partnerships. That's a model F.R. Bigelow has followed to date. I hope it's one they take into the future, because that way we'll know in the future we'll also be able to hand over the tools for self-control and improvement to the next generations.
Looking ahead, the F.R. Bigelow Foundation remains dedicated to fostering a vibrant, inclusive, and thriving Twin Cities East Metro region.